The rise of a digital bazaar. Introducing Ross Ulbricht and Silk Road. Ross Ulbricht, a name synonymous with the shadowy realm of the dark web, became a figure of fascination and controversy. He was the mastermind behind Silk Road, an online marketplace that operated beneath the surface of the traditional internet. This hidden platform facilitated the anonymous buying and selling of illicit goods, primarily drugs. It was a revolutionary concept that leveraged the anonymity of the dark web to create a marketplace free from the oversight of authorities. Its existence challenged conventional notions of law enforcement and ignited debates about the nature of freedom and privacy in the digital age. The platform's very existence questioned the balance between individual liberty and societal security. Silk Road, launched in 2011, quickly gained notoriety. It became a hub for those seeking to operate outside the bounds of traditional commerce. It provided a platform for transactions that would be impossible to conduct openly. The use of encryption and other privacy tools made it a haven for those wishing to remain in the shadows. Users, cloaked in anonymity, could purchase illegal narcotics, weapons, and other contraband with ease. The platform's design ensured that buyers and sellers could interact without fear of exposure. Bitcoin, the decentralized cryptocurrency, served as the currency of choice, further obscuring the identities of those involved. This digital currency was ideal for Silk Road's operations, providing a layer of financial anonymity. The site's meteoric rise and the challenges it posed to law enforcement agencies did not go unnoticed. Authorities were increasingly alarmed by the scale and scope of the illegal activities facilitated by Silk Road. Authorities around the world recognized the threat posed by Silk Road and its potential to undermine the rule of law. International cooperation became essential in the effort to dismantle this digital black market. The race was on to unmask the individuals behind this illicit enterprise and bring them to justice. Law enforcement agencies employed cutting-edge technology and cyber tactics to track down those responsible. The story of Ross Ulbricht and Silk Road is one of innovation and transgression. It highlights the dual-edged nature of technological advancements. It is a tale of technological prowess colliding with societal norms, forcing us to confront the complexities of the digital age and the challenges of regulating a realm that knows no borders. The legacy of Silk Road continues to influence discussions on digital privacy, freedom, and the future of online marketplaces. The making of a marketplace. Ulbricht's journey and the genesis of Silk Road. Born and raised in Austin, Texas, Ross Ulbricht seemed an unlikely candidate to become the kingpin of an online black market. He was a bright and idealistic young man, passionate about libertarian principles and the power of free markets. After graduating from the University of Texas with a degree in physics, Ulbricht pursued graduate studies in materials science and engineering at Penn State University. It was during this time that Ulbricht's libertarian ideals began to crystallize into concrete action. He became disillusioned with what he perceived as government overreach and the stifling effects of regulation on individual liberty. He envisioned a world where individuals could transact freely, without interference from the state. Driven by this vision, Ulbricht embarked on the ambitious project that would come to define his life: the creation of Silk Road. He immersed himself in the world of cryptography, anonymity software, and the burgeoning world of Bitcoin. He meticulously studied the intricacies of online marketplaces, seeking to build a platform that was both secure and user-friendly. In 2011, after months of meticulous planning and development, Silk Road was launched. The site, accessible only through the anonymizing Tor network, quickly gained traction among those seeking to buy and sell illicit goods without detection. Ulbricht, operating under the pseudonym Dread Pirate Roberts, became the enigmatic figurehead of this digital underground. The digital dragnet, the FBI closes in on the Silk Road. The success of Silk Road did not go unnoticed by law enforcement. The platform's rapid growth and the audacity of its operations caught the eye of authorities. The site's growing notoriety and the sheer volume of illicit transactions taking place on its platform attracted the attention of agencies around the world. It became a focal point for international law enforcement collaboration. The Federal Bureau of Investigation, or FBI, launched a dedicated task force to investigate and dismantle the online black market. This task force was composed of some of the best minds in cybercrime and digital forensics. The investigation, codenamed Operation Marco Polo, was a complex and multifaceted undertaking. It required coordination across various departments and international borders. Agents employed a combination of traditional investigative techniques and cutting-edge cyber forensics to track the flow of funds, identify key players, and penetrate the layers of anonymity that protected Silk Road. They meticulously pieced together digital clues. A breakthrough came when investigators discovered a series of seemingly innocuous posts on online forums. These posts were the first tangible lead in the case. These posts, made by an individual using the handle Altoid, discussed the technical challenges of running an online marketplace for illicit goods. The content of these posts was highly specific and revealing. The language and technical details used in these posts mirrored those found on Silk Road, raising suspicions that Altoid might be connected to the site. This connection was a significant breakthrough. The FBI, working with other law enforcement agencies, launched a painstaking effort to uncover the true identity of Altoid. This required a deep dive into the digital underworld. They scoured through vast amounts of data, tracing IP addresses, analyzing online activity, and following digital trails. Each piece of data brought them closer to their target. The investigation led them to a server located in Iceland, a country known for its lax data retention laws. This server was a critical piece of the puzzle. This server, investigators discovered, was the linchpin of Silk Road's infrastructure. It was the backbone that supported the entire operation, and its discovery marked a turning point in the investigation. Captured in the stacks, the arrest of Ross Ulbricht. The discovery of the Icelandic server proved to be a turning point in the investigation. By analyzing the server logs, FBI agents were able to piece together a clearer picture of Silk Road's operations and the individuals involved. They discovered that Altoid had used the server to log into Silk Road's administrator account, confirming their suspicions that this online persona was indeed connected to the site's operation. Further investigation revealed that Altoid had used a VPN service to mask his true IP address while accessing the Icelandic server. However, a crucial error on the part of Altoid would prove to be his undoing. On one occasion, he had briefly logged into the server without routing his connection through the VPN, exposing his true IP address for a fleeting moment. This brief lapse in security was all the FBI needed. They traced the IP address to a public library in San Francisco, where surveillance footage revealed a young man matching Ulbricht's description using a laptop at the time the server was accessed. The net was closing in. On October 1, 2013, FBI agents apprehended Ross Ulbricht in a dramatic bust at a San Francisco library. He was found with his laptop open, still logged into the Silk Road administrator account, providing irrefutable evidence of his involvement in the online black market. A landmark trial, the charges and verdict that rocked the web. The arrest of Ross Ulbricht sent shockwaves through the online world. It was a moment that many had thought impossible, as Ulbricht had long been a ghost in the machine, a figure of myth and legend in the digital underworld. The alleged mastermind behind the notorious Silk Road, once thought to be an untouchable phantom operating in the darkest corners of the internet, was now in the custody of law enforcement. His arrest marked the beginning of the end for one of the most infamous online marketplaces. His capture marked a watershed moment in the fight against cybercrime, demonstrating that even the most sophisticated online criminals were not beyond the reach of the law. It was a clear message to all those who believed they could hide behind the anonymity of the internet. Ulbricht's trial, which began in January 2015, was one of the most closely watched legal proceedings in recent memory. The courtroom was packed with journalists, legal experts, and curious onlookers, all eager to see how the drama would unfold. The prosecution presented a mountain of evidence against Ulbricht, including chat logs, financial records, and server data, all pointing to his role as the mastermind behind Silk Road. They meticulously laid out their case piece by piece, leaving no stone unturned. They argued that Ulbricht had knowingly and intentionally created and operated a platform for illegal activity, profiting handsomely from the sale of narcotics and other contraband. The evidence was damning, painting a picture of a man who had built an empire on the back of illegal trade. The defense team, led by attorney Joshua Ulbrichtl, mounted a vigorous defense. They sought to humanize Ulbricht, portraying him as a young idealist who had lost control of his creation. They argued that while Ulbricht may have created Silk Road, he had done so as an idealistic experiment in free markets and had ceded control of the site long before his arrest. They claimed that the true operators of the site were the ones responsible for the illegal activities. They maintained that he was not responsible for the illegal activities that took place on the platform after he was no longer involved in its operation. The defense painted a picture of a man who had been swept up in something much larger than himself. The jury, however, was not swayed by the defense's arguments. They deliberated for hours, weighing the evidence and the testimonies presented before them. After weeks of testimony and deliberation, they found Ross Ulbricht guilty on all 7 counts against him, including charges of money laundering, computer hacking, and conspiracy to traffic narcotics. The courtroom was tense as the verdict was read, with emotions running high on both sides. The verdict was a resounding victory for the prosecution and a stark warning to those operating in the shadowy corners of the dark web. It underscored the message that no one, no matter how clever or elusive, is beyond the reach of justice.